Hey friends, Steven here, Gear Stuff and Things, back for round 2 of this Jackson comparison series. And this is the reveal episode, so let's just go ahead and dive into it. So without further delay, here are the playthroughs unmasked. Alright, and now that you've heard both of them, were you right? Were your instincts right? What identifiers did you hear that made you feel the way you did if you were correct? And if you were wrong, tell me what you thought you were right about in the comments. What things stood out to you that made you think it was one thing or another? To my ear, it's not like, I know which is which, but to my ear, just listening to it, I don't hear a ton of difference. The differences are marginal. The cheaper guitar is a little brighter and has a little bit more of the upper mid thing, and that's just something happening with the pickups. The more expensive of the two has a little bit of the lower mid and a little bit more just low end in general, and the smoother high end. So those things are pretty obvious in the context of the mix. Just to be transparent, I use the same patches for the Quad Cortex on both of those demos, and I layered them the same. So what you're hearing on the left and right is the same throughout both. If there's clean or ambient stuff happening, it's the same patch, just the different guitar. So they do sound different, even using the same drums and the same, mastering chain and everything. They do sound different. However, they don't sound bad, in my opinion. The cheap one sounds really good. The expensive one sounds really good. Where the differences come in, truly, it is more so in relation to the hardware and the stability and the feel of the instrument. Adding to the transparency, the cheaper guitar was a struggle. It has really, really poor tuning keys on it that slip quite a bit. So keeping that in tune between takes was a pain, more so than even if I just had upgraded tuning keys. It was a real struggle. That being said, it still sounds good, and with an upgrade or two, it probably would play quite well and stay in tune. It goes without saying that the expensive one back here stayed in tune because it's got an EverTune on it. And it definitely feels a lot nicer playing it. It's a quality instrument. Not to say that the cheap one isn't, but there's a noticeable build and quality difference between these two instruments, and it really speaks when you're just sitting playing it for a long period of time. It's quite noticeable. I don't know. I don't think one's necessarily better than the other, depending on where you're at financially. I think if you want to go with the cheaper of the two, you can really make it into a project and add things over time, upgrade it piece by piece. You can also, upgrade it, change it, do whatever. You can modify it so many times and not really have to worry about damaging anything. It's a great platform to just get used to changing pickups and upgrading guitars, getting used to doing setups, that sort of thing. I would say that any cheap guitar is a good option for that sort of thing, just to get used to it. Grab yourself a nice Music Nomad kit or something. Not a sponsor. That would be cool though. Either way, yeah, grab one of those kits, start learning how to do your own setups, learn how to do your own intonation, learn how to adjust the truss rod, that sort of thing. Getting familiar with that stuff, learning how to solder. I can't really do that because my hands shake, so it's hard for me to solder, so I have to get other people to assist with that. I would love to be good at it. It's just, I burn myself every time because my hands move too much. But you probably don't, so you can also add that additional skill. You'll have your soldering down, your setups down, your intonation, fret crowning, leveling, all that. So if you learn how to do that, you are a one-stop shop for fixing all of your own stuff without having to pay someone, and I think that's pretty cool. So having something that's inexpensive like that is definitely going to get you in the gate with that sort of thing. Or it's just a cool guitar and you can still take it to somebody else and let them do all the work. Your preference, that's just how I view it. It's a great platform just to kind of tinker around and do a lot of stuff with. And that's what I'm going to continue to do with this guitar here on the channel, is I'm going to slowly revamp it. I'll do a video replacing the bridge. We'll do a video replacing the tuning keys. We'll do a video when there's new pickups in it. I've got some pickups coming my way from a partnership that I'm working on. And I can't wait to just dive in and really make that into something that's worthwhile, hopefully. But getting back to the fancy one, if you are in the market to spend close to $2,000 on a 7-string and an EverTune is something you're interested in, you would be hard-pressed to find one nicer than this. You would be hard-pressed to find one nicer than that one. There are a few others that are on the market that meet similar specs. That being said, it's all a personal preference thing. But if it were up to me and that's the money I had and I needed something of that caliber, and I wasn't, a snob about colors and things of that nature, the Pro Series is probably the jam. It's a much more reliable instrument in the long run, so that's also a thing to consider. Guess we need to get to the teapot portion of things, the teacups here. So for the cheap one, the standard series, Jackson Dinky, I'm going to give this 2.5 out of 5. Not great, but it's somewhere in the middle. It could be great, and I think with enough upgrades and time spent on this, it's going to be something really special, and it'll be a fun guitar to have around and just to, beat up and put in different tunings and mess with things and just experiment with. All right, and the Pro Series. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 teacups, teapots, all that sort of thing. I would give it a 5 if it came with a case. It doesn't come with a case. It is nearly $2,000 and doesn't even come with a gig bag. That's insane to me. It is an amazing instrument, really impressive. I'm a sucker for things that just work. And I know that sounds stupid, but to get a guitar out, set it up, and just never have to worry about it again, it's a pretty special feeling, and having the EverTune really did that for this, especially tuning to drop F sharp. Having that stability there is a pretty big game changer, especially when you're recording. I didn't have to tune this other than when I first plugged it in today, and I just checked it, got the old tool out, and made sure everything was good. One of the strings had kind of drifted a bit. I corrected it and went right to tracking. I didn't have to tune in between takes. With the cheap one, I was tuning in between every take just because it freaks me out that it might not be correct. Either way, fantastic instrument. There's a ton of tonal versatility in this instrument as well. And these pickups just sound really great. They actually have me quite interested in the classic series Fishmans, which I didn't know that I liked so much, but I actually might prefer these over the moderns. Granted, I am getting a little further away from the active territory these days. I am still pretty interested in these if I stick with the fishies in some of my guitars. So yeah, 4.5, fantastic instrument if you are in the market. To end this, if you're not in the market and you just want something that's reliable, you got $200, grab yourself one of those. Have some fun. Just want to try a 7-string for the first time? Grab yourself one of those. Have some fun. You've been playing guitar a long time. You play in 7 strings. You want something that is pro level, that is ready for the stage. This one. So that's it. This is the two-parter, and this is the end of the second part. I'm Steve, you're you. This is Gear Stuff and Things, and I can't wait to get back and do another video with you. Fair warning, the next video will be about recording, and we're going to be showing off some drum mics and tracking some drums as part of a recording that I'm working on, so we'll get to take a little bit of a look in that area. Until next time, it's been me, it's you. This is Gear Stuff and Things. See you soon.